One thing you know for sure, Townsend ain't for backing down.
Not at all. You can see that emotion coming out of Taylor there. The entire court on court 11. Taylor egging it on. You love to see that competitive fight. All she's been through.
Congratulations, fiery match start to finish. We'll get to it all. Can you fill us in on the conversation you were having with Jelena out there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's competition. People get upset when they lose, and you can't. Some people say bad things. She told me I have no class, I have no education, and to see what happens when we get outside the U.S. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I beat her in Canada outside the U.S. I beat her in New York outside the U.S. So let's see what else she has to say.
You were down 5-3, won 9 straight games. What changed for you?
Honestly, I just locked in. I mean, she was playing really well at the beginning, and, you know, when she was playing well, I didn't say anything. And so that just shows class. I mean, sometimes people are playing too good, and you have to just take it. But I turned it up another level, and that's what I'm most proud of today.
Fire from the crowd as well. What did this crowd, we saw it in your first round as well, give you today?
Yeah, I mean, I love this crowd so much, and they were cheering for me from start to finish, even when Alana was playing well, and the crowd was cheering for her too. I mean, she was hitting some amazing shots.
Hi gossipers, so this is what's going viral, this is what's going on, this story, and it's with Taylor Townsend and Jelena. I'm not gonna do her last name because I'm gonna botch it up. Anyways, they were playing at the US Open, and in the first half of the game something went down and Jelena let Taylor have it by also saying some undertone racial things, you know. But when I first saw it, I didn't think that way. I was just thinking that Jelena was a sore loser and she was taking it out on Taylor. Now, I don't watch tennis. I there's nothing in tennis for me to watch, right? But it's such a popular sport, and with people like Venus and Serena Williams, and then you have Naomi Osaka and the other girl, I'm drawing a blank. Is Steffi Goff, or yeah, I'm drawing a blank on her. And now to see Taylor Townsend, and what I must say is that for the last few weeks, I've seen a lot of black, you know, or African American tennis players now coming to the forefront, which is a great thing, right? Because tennis is a predominantly white sport, and to see that, you know, it's I wouldn't say crossover, but more people of color are getting into these matches. So we're going to read a very quick article and then we'll go from there. So it says Taylor Townsend is in the spotlight at the US Open as a result of an interaction she wishes never took place. Townsend said Jelena told her she had no class and no education during a face-to-face argument after their second round match Wednesday. A huge crowd cheered on her in doubles on Thursday, and Townsend made the most of the spot in prime time at Arthur Ashe Stadium on Friday night, upsetting fifth-seeded Mira Andreeva 7-5, 7-2. Now, a lot of these players, even though American players are popular, a lot of these European players, you know, they are known to hold spots. And, you know, oh, Coco Graf, that's her name, Coco Graf, sorry. But, yeah, it says going into this Grand Slam, Townsend had nowhere near the star power or the name recognition of fellow Americans, Coco Graf and Jessica Pegula. See, that's what I was saying. No one knew who she was, but because of this incident, and, you know, not because of this, but her record speaks for it. But if you're not a tennis watcher, then you're not going to know who she is. But if you're not, this put her out there to let you know that this is Taylor Townsend and she's a tennis player. So she's 29 years old, and she is half of the top-ranked women's double team in the world and was number 1 as a junior player, has become one of the biggest stories of the tournament through no fault of her own. So I think what Jelena was upset about is she, I guess, hit a ball or did a ball, and it grazed on top of the net. I think people were saying, and that should have been some kind of strike or something like that. So it seems like she was upset about that. So that's the reason why she was going in. And for her, Elena, she's like, you got to stick to the rules. You got to do what the rules are saying. But if the officials or the referee or the umpire, right? I think that's what they call, no, umpire. Empire, I'm thinking of the show. If they didn't strike it as, not being a part of the game, then why is she upset? And like I said, that goes to show she's a sore loser. I didn't put racism to it. I didn't put race to it because I was like, that's a sore loser, and she's saying stuff. But what she doesn't understand, she said that she's from a small country. She's not a racist. But here in America, when it's black and white, no matter where you are from the world, once you're white and you say something that has underlined race to it, people are gonna call you out. Like I said, I didn't see it at that. And I like Taylor, because even she said she didn't see it as a race thing. But leave it to Americans. They want to go there whenever it's black and white. Anyway, so we're gonna take a listen to what Taylor had to say.
It's sports. Like, I feel like people have gotten a little bit soft. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's sports. Like, people talk trash. People say things, whatever. People get mad. Like, everyone has a right to feel how they feel. The problem is like, don't push your expectations on me. If you expect for someone to apologize and they don't, and you get upset about it, that's your fault, not mine. I can't speak on what her intentions were. I can only speak on how I handled the situation. And how I handled it is someone who's upset about the outcome that occurred. You lost, and you're upset about that. Saying I have no education and no class, I don't really take that personally because I know that it's so far from the truth. The thing that I'm the most proud of is that I let my racket talk, because ultimately I'm the one here sitting in front of you guys, moving on to the next round, getting the next check, moving on, being able to still be here and speak to you guys. And that's what's the most important. She's packed up and she's gone.
And there you have it. A star is born. And that star, her name is Taylor Townsend. So yes, out of all this, Taylor now is being looked at. She's being talked about. Her talent speaks, and her talent shows that she's capable of, now being talked about. But, with a push from this. So I want to close this out on, do you think this has anything to do with race? And as far as Elena go, she came out and, she's saying that people are calling her a racist, and, she's not a racist. And like I said, not everyone knows the history of America, unfortunately. So no one, she didn't know that when she used those words, uneducated and no class, that here in America, it speaks on negativity when it comes to the African American black race, is that you're saying she is lesser than, that she's not educated, she cannot stand with you. So, it's sad that it went there. And for Elena, I don't know her, but I'm not one of those people who are going to say all white people, when they say something, it's because they're racist. No, she's in a country, she does not know the history. Same like with me. If I'm going to a country, I would make it a point. I don't know if I'd do deep dives like that. Like if I'm going to Japan or Russia, what I want to know more than anything else is what will keep me out of jail, what I can't do, what I cannot do in that country to go to jail. Because in places like those, they are very strict when it comes to their laws. And I don't want to go to a country where they're like, if a piece of paper falls out of your pocket, you don't see it, then you could be crucified for that. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm visiting countries that are not as, it's not advanced or progressive, but not as should I say laid back as America, I want to know what their laws are. So when I go there, I don't break it and then end up in prison for, long time. So we're going to close this out with Naomi. I think Naomi said it best the way how I would sum it up. And here's what Naomi had to say. But in the meanwhile, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching and listening.
Following up on that, when a player gets so angry that they would use words like no education and no class to criticize a black player, and when those kind of words have a bad history in this country and kind of unfair, I mean, how do you react to something like that when you hear that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that part, obviously. It's been on the TV like every 15 minutes. I mean, it's really difficult to say. I think, obviously, it's one of the worst things that you can say to a black tennis player in a majority white sport. And granted, I know Taylor and I know how hard she's worked and I know how smart she is. So she's the furthest thing from uneducated or anything like that. But if you're like genuinely asking me about the history of Ostapenko, I don't think that's the craziest thing she said. I'm going to be honest. I think it's ill timing and the worst person you could have ever said it to. And I don't know if she knows the history of it in America. But I know she's never going to say that ever again in her life. But, yeah, I mean, it's just terrible. Like, that's just really bad.
Back.